Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We are at part 2 of Raid on Graymalkin Uncanny X-Men number 7. As you can see on the cover, things is a little uneasy, man. There's a little disagreement going on right now. But yo, what are we waiting on? Roll that intro, cuz. What's going on, Geek Corner? This is your boy Earth Smack the Mad Scientist, and welcome back to the Orange Phoenix channel and another episode of Comic Book Declassified, where we talk about the most recent issues in comics, as well as past issues, as well as character bios. If you ask for it, do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell. That way you get notified on all of our content, whether it's live or recorded. Now, last video we talked about Adjectiveless X-Men number 8, and this was the start of the raid on Graymalkin, and we learned there's not one, not two, but 3 prisoners in Graymalkin prison, 2 of which is part of the Uncanny X-Men, and one of them is Beast of the Adjectiveless X-Men. So, yo, let's get into it. So, the Uncanny X-Men is written by Gail Simone with pencilers David Marquez and Edgar Salazar, anchors David Marquez and Victor Alazaba, colorist Matthew Wilson, letterer VC's Clayton Cowles, as well as cover artists of David Marquez and Matthew Wilson. Is various cover art of various covers, and special thanks to Jed McKay, because this is a collaboration between Uncanny X-Men and Adjectiveless X-Men. So we're going to get into the first part of it, because this takes place a little bit before the raid on Graymalkin, but we will be getting into that later on in this issue. But we learned about the conversation between Rogue and Cyclops, and you learned of the tension between these two. And the dialogue goes as follows. It says, Scott, Cyclops, I don't think you heard me too good. They took 2 of mine. And she says, she's not listening, Scott. You'll need to be more commanding. Like, Psylocke is telling her, like, listen, you got to be, puff out your chest a little bit. Say it with your chest. Do something. And he says, she'll listen. Rogue's reasonable. She'll see it my way. Rogue, listen, I need you to follow me on this. Yes, like the old days. Exactly. No, I need you to sit this one out. And she says, the old days are gone, Scott. You can't stop us from getting back our own. And he started using real names. She's like, listen, Anna Marie, are you mad at me? I don't know what's happened. Have I let you down somehow? And she's like, look, Scott, no, there's nobody I respect more, not even Charles, but we all waited for you to step up. You can't teach everyone to fight for themselves and then be surprised when they do, which is factual. And, he's like, look, she ain't hearing me. He's like, listen, Rogue, there are too many of us. We all show up. It's not a raid. It's an act of war. He's like, be reasonable. We don't need you. Your team showing up will only cause bloodshed. We have Quentin, Squire, Psylocke, we have Magic, we have Temper, we have Juggernaut, for God's sakes. And she's like, listen, I ain't saying you got a bad squad and you love them, right? It's not really that kind of team, Rogue. Care for them then. Yes, sure, I care for them. So basically what's going on is Cyclops is like, listen, we going, but we don't need you to go, because if it's too many people, then it's going to be an act of war. There's going to be several people after all of us. Like, I'm gonna take the hit for this. Yes, we got Squire, we got Psylocke, we got Juggernaut, we got Magic. I mean, Cyclops really do have a powerhouse team. Like, they don't really need no extra help. You know what I'm saying? So Cyclops, being the leader that he is, I mean, he's correct on this. You know what I'm saying? But I also understand Rogue's sentiment, because 2 of her own has been captured and she's pissed about that. But at the same time, like, I see Cyclops' side of it too, because the first time reading this, I was siding completely with Rogue. I was like, yo, Cyclops, man, you need to sit this one out, bro. Like ask, get this help when you need it. But I understand his logic in this. So going forward, man, listen, she's like, listen, don't get in my way. She hangs up the phone and she's like, this could have gone better. And Gambit's like, you think so? Here, I thought you was the pat out clever. Call out the troops, will you? And this is Wolverine, Gambit, Nightcrawler, and the young ones from earlier in Uncanny X-Men #1. Now, see, that part I kind of disagree with because, yes, they are mutants. They are coming to their own, but don't put them in the middle of a situation where one of them could potentially die. Like, as far as Rogue, Gambit, Nightcrawler, and Wolverine, they are veterans in this. They know how to survive this. They know how not to die in this situation. So now, if you remember, Gambit has means of transportation because in Uncanny X-Men #1, he was able to get one of the eyes of Agamotto, and a deal was made. And we can go and you can hark back at Uncanny X-Men #1 if you haven't read Uncanny X-Men #1. The link is in the description below. So let's get on with it. They transfer over to Greymark in prison. Now, before we get there, we got to see that dialogue between Jubilee and Karina Ellis, because in X-Men #8, Beast was getting beaten to the bloody pulp right in front of Jubilee. And she's like, listen, Ellis, I want to make something very, very clear. You hurt Hank again, and I will blind you. And the minute she says that, like, how you think this was going to go? Like, right? Like, I peep game in X-Men #8. Like, nobody hasn't used their powers yet. Like, there's got to be some type of safety parameters for Karina Ellis. There's got to be a reason why she's so poised and so relaxed. And she says, there is certainly happy news about the ankle dampeners, isn't it? And Calico's like, no, leave her alone. But she says, willful, and disobedient. You will learn, Jubilee. And like, forget the paperwork. Get this one in a cell wagon, get her to the rendezvous point, or drop her off at the gas station. I don't really care if the check is clear. Just get her out of my sight. Because you remember in X-Men #8, Calico's parents left a sizable donation. They was going to write a check for the release of Calico. And, you know, Alice was like, I don't give a damn. Like, listen, go ahead and release her. I got the money, whatever. And so Calico's like, listen, I don't want to ride. I'm going to just walk. And the prison guard was like, listen, there's wild dogs out here. And listen, Calico was coming to her own, man. I feel like she's the highlight of this story so far, because as she's walking, she was like, I can't, mama. And she's like, Becca, Constance, Simon, Panette, for the last time, you would do as you were told. And she's like, they were nice to me, mama. I can't leave them. I'm a mutant. Ember, to me, Warhorse. Like, yo, she's like, listen, you release me, but I'm coming back. I'm coming back to save my friends. I'm coming back for Jubilee. I'm coming back for Beast, even though I just met him. Obviously, Jubilee's cool with him, so whatever. So the Louisiana group is outside the walls, and they're trying to figure out a way to actually get in. And all of a sudden, Calico come busting through tanks, busting through the walls, like, yo, this is our way in. Let's go ahead and wreak havoc. Let's go do what we need to do. Now, one of the Uncanny X-Men members says, I thought I saw little demons come out of the dirt. No one, just me, and that's a call back to X-Men #8. Now, in X-Men #8, Magic is summoning demons out to attack Greymark in prison, to their dismay. Now, going back to Jubilee. Now, Jubilee been in prison before, so she already know how to handle this situation. She says, oh, bless commissary for it. Let's see what good trouble we can cause. Okay, alarms going off from every direction. They won't be looking for the girl with the Christmas lights, right? If I can break the circuit casing, this is gonna hurt, I bet. And she breaks open the ankle dampeners, and she busts out. So clearly, Dr. Ellis underestimate Jubilee. Like, okay, if she can take away the ankle dampeners, what's stopping her from doing it with any other prisoner? You know, a little plot hole there. But anyway, so we fast forward over to Rogue, where she meets on with Cyclops, and he says, like, Rogue, go home now. Like, bro, hold on, Cyclops. Now, you really think after that phone conversation that you had early in this issue that she's going to listen to you now? She's like, you know what? You're right. I'm gonna go ahead and go home, Scott. Let me know when you save Jubilee, Calico, and we'll meet up or whatever. Like, that's not how this going to go, right? Like, what logic is to saying that? Go home now. Like, you ain't my dad, whatever. And so Ransom was like, do we rush him? And Wolverine was like, not unless he reaches for his temple, then it's a go. Damn it all to hell. Because he don't really want this to transpire. So they're actually having this conversation. Rogue was like, we find Jubilee, we leave. Scott, what you do is your business for now. And Quentin was like, listen, something's down there watching y'all. And they interfered with Kid Omega's, telepathy, his communication with Cyclops and everything else in between. Now, Scurvy is making the team angry because Ellis asked to have mutants at her disposal, and she calls them trustees. So it's basically under Dr. Ellis's control. So if the mutant prisoners just so happen to act unruly or try to escape, she got some watchdogs out there. And she's like, listen, Kane, to me, my X-Man. And so when you go further in, Ransom sees Cyclops use his temple. And look, Wolverine's like, no. Hold up. Pause. It's his comm link. He's not shooting laser beams. Come on, bro. Let's not do that. And he strikes Cyclops. And then that will cause this whole scuffle to transpire. But like, bro, Cyclops been in this game, man. Cyclops been defeated, part of the Phoenix Force, for crying out loud. You're not going to win this fight. And Cyclops make quick work of Ransom. And this little tussle ensues, but Rogue carries off Cyclops. Like, been spending too much time in the snow, I suspect. Forgot your damn manners. And they have a conversation with each other, but that's further down the line. And we jump back into Jubilee and Calico. Because Calico finds Jubilee, and the same guards that was beating up on Beast, Jubilee was about to put in some work until she says, you know what? My friend might want to get some payback. And Beast is unleashed, ladies and gentlemen, gets his comeuppance. You know what I'm saying? But the soldiers get his comeuppance. He beat their ass. Quick work. Now, I mean, it takes a lot of restraint not to unalive them, but it is what it is. But you see this dialogue between Rogue and Cyclops, like I was saying earlier. It says, don't make me blast you, Rogue. Like, did you not just see me absorb Blob, Scott? Take your shot. And Cyclops was like, I already did. And in comes Juggernaut, man, busting through the mansion, man, just knock everybody on their ass. It's like, come on, man. And X-Men number 8, Juggernaut was on standby. He was outside. He was waiting on the word from Cyclops, hey, come bust through here. Like, that show a nuclear deterrent. Like, you can't stop Juggernaut once he's in motion. It is a wrap for you. But something happens here. When he busts through, Cyclops like, hey, yo, everybody stop for a second. And they see this big X on the wall. And it's a cell. And Rogue's like, do you think this is Charles? And he was like, in her mind, she's like, this ain't done, Scott. We both know it. You laid hands on mine. But we got priorities. And she says, if he's in there, Kane, help me crack that egg. And he's like, sure, Rogue, sure. And Scott like, wait, hold on. Are we sure we should? And then in the midst, I got a better idea. Just turn around, Summers, and go home. And you see Blob, Siren, a malnourished man-child, and some Sentinel dolls. And yo, that is the end of Uncanny X-Men number 7. And that goes on to X-Men number 9, but it comes out next month. I cannot wait to see what happens in part 3 and 4 of this crossover event, if you can call it a crossover event. But yes, I did skip some key parts in Uncanny X-Men number 7 because I want you guys to go out and read this for yourself. You already know what I'm about to tell you. Go to your nearest comic book store, support your nearest comic book store, and get yourself a physical copy of Uncanny X-Men number 7. If it just so happened to be sold out, go ahead and get you a digital copy from Kindle Comicsology. Now, here is the next comic we are going to cover, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going back to DC, and this one is Shadow Cabinet number 1. Cannot wait to cover that, guys. Do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell, y'all. So until next time, peace.